Hey, my name is Shawnshawn. I sell art at shawnshawn.co. Today we're going to react to Sergio Aranda. So Sergio is a French artist, or at least a resident of Paris. So looking at his YouTube site, I really like this nice blue and gold on top. It's kind of a detail of one of the paintings with a lot of nice sharp detail and then fuzziness. So it's a really good setup. He has his website, some of his social media links on top. So that's a pretty strong setup, I think. For his headshot or his icon, he uses kind of, I guess, his handprint, which isn't very recognizable. I would just use your face, to be honest, with maybe a paintbrush or something. He has a really nice intro video. He's attached on here, so that's a really nice way to start up. It's just one, I think his last painting, maybe. On his playlist, on the homepage, he has uploads, which, it's a pretty strong start. Popular uploads underneath. I would probably reverse that, put popular uploads on top, because brand new viewers are probably going to see the popular stuff. And he has a couple of his playlists below, and that's it. I think I might just add those playlists as different playlists underneath. You can do up to 7. So I think that might be a stronger way to present the homepage, but pretty good. So let's get to the first video. It's called... It's a very long title. How to do a texture painting with plaster, easy tutorial, craft, DIY, gold leaf, and acrylic paint, easy. So I think he has every keyword possible in there, which is strong when you're unknown, but once you get known, you want to cut that back to a really short name. But when you start, that kind of helps sometimes with the SEO. So there's a lot of different views on that. So let's play it. So I really like this intro. It has kind of like, it's set in Paris. Let's show the scenes of Paris. So you kind of walk around the city and then you come to his apartment building and then boom, you're in his studio, right? So it has a really nice texture feel there to the build up to the painting. So I like that really cool start. All right, so let's skip ahead a little bit. So I like kind of the way he's editing here. He's using little snippets of the video, like he's taking the whole video and then chopping it into pieces and just stitch a couple little pieces together, but it's all in real time, so there's no time lapse. So you get a real feel of how this painting is coming together with the texture and the plaster and how you build the back of the canvas. Let's skip ahead just a little bit. So I think if you did a voiceover, it'd be a lot stronger, but it's pretty cool the way he's doing it this way too. With a nice kind of jazzy feel to it. Okay, so let's skip ahead to the paint. Just gonna sand some of it down, so let's go a little further here. So he adds a little bit of texture there on top. So he's kind of feeling out the painting. Let's see what he's doing next here. Ooh, black. I like these detail shots on the side. I paint the sides like this too, black, but I never video it, so it's kind of cool to see that really close-up view of that. So skip ahead a little bit, guys, so we can get a little more feel to the painting. So he's just hand brushing in gold layer paint in there. It's a very nice decorative style painting. Let's go ahead a little bit. So there's just a lot of music here. If he's gonna do something else. Is that a little white dust, I think? Maybe that's blue dust, I'm not sure. It's kind of a cool aging effect, I would say. Skip ahead a little bit more. So just one note, this stuff is a nightmare to work with when you use gold leaf. I've used it before and it's like, this stuff doesn't apply how you want. It kind of flakes off. You know, if you're trying to do shapes, it's a real nightmare because I've done shapes with it. So it's a real interesting material to work with, but it's very brittle and very difficult to work with. Acrylic's a great use of it because it's all glue based. So a very nice decorative piece. Let's go to the next painting. This one is called Extract Art and Industrial Painting, Eiffel Tower, Art Inspiration, Acrylic painting on canvas. He has like every single keyword in this freaking video. It's hilarious. Let's start the video. Very serious, guys. Here, very serious. Oh, he has his logo this time, so a little bit more cooler. So it's really interesting. He cut short the Paris scenes, which I kind of like in the other video. But maybe he thought it was too long. Maybe there was a fall off when his audience. But I thought it was a really cool introduction to where he lives. Because if you see that video right off the bat, you don't know where they're from or anything. And you add, oh, I'm in Paris. You're like, ooh, Paris. You know, you get kind of that special feel. So I really like that kind of background feel. And here he's cut it short. Okay, so he's kind of interweaving it back and forth. It's kind of interesting. And it's really cool. I think this style goes really well with Paris or anywhere in Europe where it's kind of old architecture, because you're going to have these distressed walls looking all around the city as you walk around. So you can really pick up a lot of cool ideas just walking around the city, because there's so many distressed walls. You go to people's apartments and there might be paint flaking off the ceiling from a 50-year-old building or a 100-year-old building. So it's just, you get that really nice textures. And so he's actually pulling in those great visual experiences that he's seeing live in Paris and then putting it into his paintings. That's really cool. So it's kind of interesting. Now he's weaving it back and forth between the city and the painting. Let's go ahead a little bit. I don't know if he gets to the painting or not. So I guess this one is just more maybe an advertisement. I don't know. It doesn't really, there's no painting in it going on. It's kind of in Paris, so you don't know how he made it. But it would be really cool. I think it's stronger to do as a painting tutorial. And then I use Snippet myself for ads, so I understand you got to have ads, but I hide that all. I don't put that on my page per se as far as easy to find. I just do those as ads per se. But anyway, let's keep going ahead here. But very cool to add all those background images of Paris, which really gives you the fun feel of being in Paris. This next one really isn't a painting tutorial, but it's called a Painting International Contemporary Art Fair, Art 3F, 4K Walk Around Exhibition, Paris Art Fair. Blah, 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 blah. It's still a verbal soup, so let's start it, guys. So he's been videoed, so that's cool. You get a better feel of what the artist is. So he's gonna go check it out. It would be nice if he was talking on this. Voiceover would be so much cooler, I think. Even if he has to translate the dubbing into English, if he wants to do an English version. Yeah, these are super cool to go to. They're always so off the top. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. It's always cool to see what people collect internationally. It's so different sometimes. So I think he's painting a little bit too fast in this, but maybe he speeded up, I don't know. So it's all regions of France, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what else he has in here. I'll skip ahead a little bit. I've done this myself as far as I do interviews at galleries and kind of walk around and show what's going on. It's nice for, like, you know, in the future, you know, these artists can look back and say, oh, I was there, look, there's my art on the wall, you know, because it just, you put it up and then it disappears. But it's nice if you kind of record it, then you have a tape of where your art was, how it looked in the scene, so that's really fun. So I think we get a feel for that. Let's go to check out his website. So it's here, sergioaranda.fr/en, so that's the English version. So he says a really quick photo of himself with a hand up again. That's kind of cool, but it's hard to recognize, so I would just, on the website it's fine, but on the YouTube it might do it a little different. So let's go to this first page is About Me. So he has very subtle lettering. It's like kind of a gold-white background. That's a little bit hard to read. I'd do a little bit darker. I know he's using the gold because he used gold in the painting. So that's smart, but it has to be that contrast in the background. You just can't read that writing that well. The font is good. It's a little bit harder to read that. A little bit of education. And I think I would use justified. I wouldn't use kind of the way he's doing it. I think it's centered. He's got some of his painting at the bottom. He's probably go to paintings. I really like his abstract, so it's just, mwah. It's so good. The abstract, some of it is like, wow, it's so cool. And he works with interior design. So let's go to his next page. His next page, YouTube, which I think it just probably straight to his YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure these are just video clips of the YouTube, but it's pretty nice because they just, it doesn't say play, it just goes straight there. But it's a little bit, you have to know that that's actually YouTube videos. So on mine I have like play this, you know. That helps a little bit. He has gallery, you have to enter the gallery, which is kind of weird that you have to click it again. And it's here to switch to French, which is fine, but I don't know if that's a glitch that it's only... Because ideally, if you switch the language once, it's the whole, all your pages in English should be English, and then all those things in French should be French, etc. So whenever you change a language, so probably he should have a button at the top, like the flag, like British for English, the French flag for French, and then other languages. If he does other languages, maybe he does German because he's in German. He probably sells in Germany as well. So pretty reasonable prices. I mean, $440. That's not too bad. It's half a meter, so maybe. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable prices, $440. I mean, it's a really nice price for abstract, I think. Very reasonable. He has expos. Let's see what the expos. Oh, no. So I guess this is one of his galleries. I'm not sure. Or maybe where he was exposed. But again, it's kind of gold on white. You really can't read that well. I probably just stick to black or maybe a very dark brown, maybe if you want to kind of reflect the gold or gold. You could two-tone it where you do letters on top of each other maybe, but I would just make sure it's very legible and it's a little bit unlegible using the gold on white. He has a whole bunch. I don't know what this plus is about. Oh, these are other online galleries, I guess. Kind of his techniques with a lot of detail shots, which is cool. Home decor. So this is like pillows and stuff with his art on it. A lot of artists do that. That's kind of cool. Let's go to the Panier. I don't know what Panier is. Oh, I think this is... I don't know if it's commission work or kind of interview him. Let's see. My French isn't that great anymore. I can read it a little bit because I took 2 years of French and then I lived in Europe, so I saw a lot of French, and I work in an art gallery, so you saw a lot of French, so I can pick up some of it, but not everything. I think this is just where his gallery is located. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good website. Little modern font, so the font's really good. Just the gold and white is a little hard to read. I would probably switch it to all black, maybe dark gray or something if you want to kind of tone it up. But it really has to have that contrast, and the white on gold is just a little hard to read. Oh, and he has the flag up here again. So that was what I was talking about, the flag, French, English. I mean, if he's in Europe, I would totally do German. It's totally worth the extra investment because if you look at the population, German is probably maybe a good 30% of the population of Europe. So you would definitely, it's probably a good 20-30% more than the French market. So you could definitely pick up a lot of collectors in Germany, and they're right next door. You do have a kind of a little animosity between the French and Germans from the various wars they've gone to war, so maybe that's why he doesn't bother. But I think there'd still be collectors in Germany that would buy French work. I don't know if they would hold that against you, but maybe he's just not international enough right now. He's just doing the English and the French market. Maybe it's easier for him because English always like French things, no matter what the history is, So it's a little different than the French and German, But yeah, overall I rate it pretty cool. I go check out his channel. He looks like he has some really cool abstract art techniques that I would recommend for abstract painters. And if you guys want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next Artist React video.